to Fancast Friday. We are here to talk about the DCU, specifically one director that many love here in regards to comic book films, but also non-comic book films, as you can maybe see from my poster right here. But it's we're talking Sam Raimi, of course, because Sam Raimi recently revealed that I believe it was a Reddit AMA that said the biggest problem with superhero movies, and instead of saying they're amusement park rides or that they're ruining cinema, the typical answers that you would hear from an auteur like Sam Raimi, his biggest problem was the fact that he's not offered enough of them. He's directed 4 in his lifetime, 5 if we're counting superhero characters, but he's directed 4 comic book movies, and he, in the words of DJ Khaled, he wants another one and another one and another one. And honestly, we got 8 top tier choices here, 5 higher ones reasoning wise, and then 3 honorable mentions, as we usually do. And with that, we can get this party started with me, your host, John, and then, of course, your boy, Dan the Man here, talking about Sam Raimi. Dan, you excited to talk about Sam Raimi today with your lovely chicken?
Sorry. Yeah, no, I am excited. The crumbs are getting everywhere. Anyway, no, I am excited to talk. You guys voted for it, so and you know what? Sam Raimi is one of the best comic book directors that we have ever had. So I can't wait to see what you came up with, John. I actually, there's a few picks in there that I was fairly surprised by, but I think there's some good ones. And you guys watching live, welcome to drop in the live chat what your picks are. If you have any that we are not going to go over, and then we'll bring those in at the end of the show. If you're watching after we're live, give us your picks in the comments down below. We got Caleb, Monique in the chat already, and I'm sure more of you will be joining us as we get going. So, John, as we usually do, let's talk about the poll that the folks voted on to get us this far, because we had more than one Sam Raimi option on there. So.
Yeah, because we're like, give him another chance in the MCU after Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And then we also have The Bridesmaid, Never the Bride for the DCU Wonder Woman director. It feels like that's been kind of on there for at least a couple months at this point. So
I thought it was going to win finally. It had the early lead, but then...
It did, but then people just love Sam Raimi. Who doesn't love Sam Raimi? Like, I don't trust a person who doesn't love Sam Raimi. But, although Joe Curie was close, although everyone was like, you know what? He had Doctor Strange. Leave it be. It's fine. We're good. Leave it as is. And then, so DCU was
what's
the reigning
weird
champion here.
I must have been tired because the day I made the poll, I thought I put the 2 photos in the opposite options. Like the photo that I used, a younger Sam Raimi for the MCU, I thought I'd use that for the DCU, and the one from the
that makes sense why the Doctor
Strange
one is for DCU.
Yeah, because I was like, I thought I had the other way around. But anyway, it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. We're good.
Yeah.
You do have a couple people who would agree with you. I personally my favorite is the original, which is also weird because usually the go-to for people is Evil Dead 2. Everybody loves Evil Dead. I love Evil Dead 2. However, my favorite is still the original. Is still my favorite. I don't know. It's just like that's just a magical movie to me, even more magical than Doctor Strange. I just think something's magical about the first Evil Dead, and nothing ever did it again. Evil Dead 2 I majorly love, even though it's kind of more clean cut and a little bit more surface level than the first. And then for me, Army of Darkness, I do majorly enjoy Army of Darkness, although it is my least favorite of the 3. However, the remake can suck dicks. Fuck that movie. I don't like the remake. I know a lot of people do. I think it's just too try hard to me. And then Evil Dead Rise was awesome. I can't wait for Evil Dead Burn, which is coming out this year. Honestly, Dan, that's another one we should do. We should rank Evil Dead movies when it's closer to the release date for Evil Dead Burn.
We talked about it the other day, right? There's
And then, but there's also been a bunch of Evil Dead games. I never played the newest one, which was essentially just, Dead by Daylight, because every horror game is just doing Dead by Daylight over and over again. Friday the 13th did it, Evil Dead did it, Texas Chainsaw Massacre did it, and it seems like Halloween is now doing it too, because apparently there's no other way to do a horror game outside of fucking Dead by Daylight. But, I'm not complaining. We're
Yeah.
getting a Halloween game. It's on my wish list.
So, I mean, hey, look, we're gonna definitely bring back the DCU Wonder Woman director category because it came in second. Maybe even the Joe Keery MCU category because it was such a close third. But today we're talking about Sam Raimi in the DCU, aka which DC movies should Sam Raimi direct? So, without further ado, John, on the thumbnail we have a couple of characters, but uh, we have just the format for the show. If in case you guys are watching for the first time, Fancast Friday, we usually have 5 picks. We give you our pros and cons for each one, and then we will give you our likelihood meter rating, which is basically a means for us to kind of give you our sense of from 1 through 10, with 1 being the least likely and 10 being almost a lock, that James Gunn, Peter Safran and company, will how likely are they to actually make this a reality? AKA in this situation, like if 10 out of 10 would be, or 10 on the likelihood meter would mean, yeah, you know what? Sam Raimi is directing that movie. It's pretty much a lock. 1 would be, in your dreams. So not only are we fan casting, but we're also going to try to give you a sense of how likely is it that Sam Raimi could direct said movie in the DCU. So with that said, and John, by the way, I don't know if you made any picks that could be DC Elseworlds. So my assumption is we're only talking DCU because, of course,
Mainly,
DC
yes.
Studios, could do something that is Sam Raimi directed, but it kind of sits in its own continuity. So you guys are welcome to drop in your picks
I
in the
actually have
comments in the
not
live
watched
chat.
Simple Plan or Quick and the Dead,
Yeah.
but they're on the list. I need to watch because pretty much mainly the Sam Raimi movies I've seen are Evil Dead and Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, and that's kind of it. But like that's enough, honestly, because
Yeah.
Sam Raimi is just that amazing that you could just see those and you see the best of the best. But
Yes, he is.
The Gift is another one, not the Joel
Nice,
Edgerton
Steven.
movie. That was a different one. That came out like about 10,
Yeah.
11 years ago. Different movie, but that one had Kate Blanchett in it as a psychic, and it was like a courtroom drama. I know For the
Yeah.
Love of the Game that
Well,
gets kind of mixed. I can't wait for Send Help. That's coming out in a few weeks. Honestly, it's
I'm
less
not
than a
that
week.
impressed by it, but these are the trailers. But hey, let's talk about the we can talk about Sam Raimi all day. Let's talk about the DC movies he could direct. By the way, Fish and Chips sounds great, Steven. I'm
Eh.
having some
I
fried
have seen
chicken.
Darkman. I do. Darkman's okay. It's not that great, but it could be better. You know what could be better? Brave and the Bold. James, as it says on the bottom, just fucking do it. No balls. Just fucking make Sam Raimi the goddamn director. Please. For the love of God. He's
You know
wanted
what's
to do it. He's
usually
wanted
we
to do
have
it since the 80s.
pre-pros.
He's wanted to do it since, before Warner Brothers got the fucking rights to the goddamn movie. Goddamn. Like, just fucking make it happen. He's wanted to do a Batman movie since the 80s. He's wanted to do a Shadow movie since the 80s, but he couldn't get the rights to either. That's why we got Darkman, because he's like, fine, if I can't do Batman, if I can't do, if I can't do Shadow, then I'll make my own. I'll make my own superhero with blackjack and hookers. Anyway, but for me, Brave and the Bold is a no-brainer. He's talked about it, how, I knew that he wanted to do a Batman movie for years, and I think it would be, really great if he did, in fact, do a Batman movie. I think he would have done a better Batman movie than Tim Burton. Wouldn't have been as popular, but he would have made a better movie. But it's like he has a love for comics. I mean, that's why he got the job for Spider-Man to begin with. He's got a love for comics. His love for Batman comics specifically, his style and his experience lends him to making a great Batman experience. He has nailed every aspect of Batman in the past in terms of stuff that can be attributed to the character. He's done dramatic, he's done horror, he's done like resilient heroes. He's done it all. He's done westerns, he's done sports dramas. He's done like surreal and big blockbusters, small indie. Like he's done everything. This man has done absolutely everything. He could give us the greatest Batman movie of all time, next to giving us the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time. So just no balls, James. Just fucking do it. Stop being a pussy about it. Get rid of the douchebag who fucking, said Batman should throw money at the fucking poor and that he would actually do something. Don't fucking give me that shit. Fuck you, Andy. The only con about this is that Andy Muschietti's still fucking attached. That's the only thing, because like literally he's like this, we're this close to greatness. Literally, Sam Raimi has said he
Look,
wants to do it. The only reason that he hasn't is because James Gunn is so far up his own fucking ass that he's willing to give us the guy who ruined the Flash and the bitch who ruined the Flash over the guy who has wanted to do a Batman movie for 40 fucking years. Just give us a goddamn Sam Raimi directed Batman movie. Fuck. God damn it. It's so obvious. James. Fuck you.
You know how I can tell that you feel really strongly about this? You have 4 pros and only 1 con. Usually we have to be like 3 and 3. But also speaking to the idea of Andy Muschietti still being attached to direct Batman Brave and the Bold in the DCU, I would think that if Sam Raimi were to come in and do a DC Batman movie, he would want to write it, he would want to direct it, he would want to kind of do his own thing with it.
Sam Raimi doesn't really write his own movies. He hasn't written his own movie since like at least the first or second.
Fair, but like okay, so in that sense, he still is more of an auteur, like closer to Tim Burton than he is to an Andy Muschietti. Where Andy Muschietti clearly is like he could be a director for hire. That he came in, he worked with the script that he was given for the Flash. He's clearly gonna just come in and direct whatever they give him for Batman Brave and the Bold, and James Gunn is controlling the creative behind that. So to me, like, would Sam Raimi be okay with being just handed a script that James Gunn, Christian Hodson come up with and directing it? And then, because like clearly one of the biggest reasons why, I mean, Kevin Feige said it himself, like he was like, I hired Sam Raimi because I could just kind of let him do his thing for Doctor Strange and Into the Multiverse of Madness, because he had so much else to focus on. He was like, I wanted this to be a movie where I could be a little more hands off, and Sam Raimi is somebody who you can trust to go off and do his thing and get it right. So he didn't have to hold his hand, obviously. And the question would become, is that really what James Gunn wants to do with the movie ultimately? I would love to see Sam Raimi direct a Batman movie, and it's just a matter of whether that's going to be possible. Because if it's not going to be in the DCU, because I don't know if that's going to work out with the vision that James Gunn has. I mean, for all we know, it's so possible.
Weird to me because like this guy, because James has said like he wants to let directors do their thing, because he has said multiple times. Even though like people are saying like, oh, fucking Supergirl is just Guardians, it's just James doing his own thing and copy pasting it onto Craig Gillespie. He has said many times, no, that is Craig Gillespie's movie. That is his vision. That is Ana Naguera's script that he envisioned as the director. That is his movie. So I can't imagine that James Gunn, a guy who has loved superhero media for a very long time, would say no to the guy that gave us one of, if not like one of the greatest comic book movies of all time, and arguably the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time. He would just be like, "Oh, I have a vision for this. Get out of my sight." Like, I can't imagine James Gunn doing that. The only reason that like he wouldn't is like Andy Muschietti still touch. I could see maybe Sam Raimi can throwing his hat into if Andy Muschietti's like, you know what, I want to do my fancy sci-fi movie, whatever the fuck he had in mind. He's like, I want to do this sci-fi movie and then do Batman later, which is like dumbass, but okay. But let's say that I think if Sam Raimi is that interested, he's like, you know what, I would throw my hat into the ring. I think he would go as far as to do that. And I don't think James Gunn would say no, unless like he does something so fucking weird that James Gunn is like, okay, I think I do have a little bit something more streamlined for Batman. However, take this. take whatever
I
else
just
like we have in mind, you
look.
know.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I think it's more. James Gunn has said he's working really closely with the writer for this Batman movie, and maybe it has more to do with the fact that Andy Muschietti is not really attached as like as somebody who's gonna want to have a lot of say in the story necessarily. So it's very possible that in a different scenario. I mean, look, I'm not saying James Gunn is gonna have the same approach with every single project he oversees as a producer. Clearly, with Clayface, with Supergirl, he's been a lot more hands off. It's not his story per se, even though like they've made sure that the it fits the overall larger, bigger picture story arc of the DCU. But maybe if Sam Raimi was attached, the approach James Gunn would take would be a little more hands off or slightly different. Maybe Christina Hodson came in to write an idea, from a treatment by James Gunn versus, like Anna Noguera pitched Supergirl, and so maybe she led the way in the creativity, and then James Gunn was more just there to kind of be a guiding hand. I don't know. There's many different ways a movie is made, and certainly the idea goes from just being a log line to being a treatment to being a script. It just depends on who is the driving force creatively. And all I'm saying is, would Sam Raimi be willing to just kind of come in and take a script that was already ready to go, or would he want a little more control over that? Because he certainly would want control over like more of the visual language of the film, right? But clearly, he has shown that he can work within an environment that you got to imagine is traditionally been more, has more constraints creatively for directors. That is the MCU, of course, with Doctor Strange. So maybe he'd be up for doing it. But then again, if he cares so much about Batman, it's such a passion project. Maybe he wouldn't want to compromise on the vision that he has for the character. And is that the same vision that James Gunn has? That's why I'm saying like maybe Andy Muschietti is still attached. But then again, if he leaves, like you said, I totally would not mind them bringing in Sam Raimi. It's just a matter of how that would work. And if they wanted to do an Elseworld story for Sam Raimi as with his version of Batman, I don't think they'd do a third different version of Batman while they already got the Robert Pattinson version and then the DCU version running around. So it may happen eventually, but just not anytime soon. But I would love to see it as much as the next guy.
Yeah,
John, with that in mind,
in terms
yeah,
of likelihood, I'm gonna say even odds. I'm gonna be
yeah,
optimistic because they did mention when Christina Hodson is definitely doing the Batman script,
hmm
that Andy Muschietti's like scheduling and availability is like kind of up in the air. So there is a
it's kind of
chance that Andy
conditional, like his
Muschietti could.
attachment. Yeah,
It's kind of up in
yeah.
the air. So it might, he might not be interested
I
in
mean,
doing it. He might just want to focus on it for now because that's like his
yeah.
world, that's his baby. So he kind of wants to focus on that. And he's still in like the Warner Brothers world in regards to that since they own it for right now.
hmm
And so like I can see like Andy Muschietti, like James gonna be like, okay, you can't do Batman. I could see Andy Muschietti like doing something else later on. Honestly, I think Andy Muschietti. There are other better characters that Andy Muschietti could do than Batman. I would like more of an underground character. I think Andy Muschietti could do like really small budget, next to no CGI. Andy, you gotta fucking calm down with that goddamn CGI. Um, and have him do that because like the only reason it's not higher is because Andy Muschietti is still attached. It's just the reason it's higher than one would think. It's because they said that maybe he might not be doing this movie. Who knows? So
Yeah, I think like if Andy Muschietti is as attached as as conditionally attached as James Mangold is to Swamp Thing, then yeah. Although I think two different situations because James Mangold is meant to write and direct Swamp Thing, whereas clearly Andy Muschietti would just be a director for hire. So yeah, I would love to see Sam Raimi do a Batman movie, and I think that would be great. I just don't know if the time is now. But that could change very quickly if the
who
Andy
knows?
Muschietti decides to walk away. So
But
yeah.
maybe he can't have Batman. He's like, all right, I can't have Batman, but I've done Spider Man. And what if I do a Batman character that's a lot like Spider Man? What if I do Nightwing? So he's like, you know what? What about Nightwing? So with that, Nightwing, the character of Nightwing, many have said he's essentially there's a lot of Spider-Man esque characters in the DC universe. The Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle also kind of has that vibe a little bit. Flash has that vibe, mainly the Wally West version. So Nightwing is definitely one of those guys where it's like he kind of had a past built on trauma and was pretty much
Right.
molded into becoming this very like optimistic kind of hero, although unlike Peter, he actually has good luck. You know, so he has more of the Spider-Man vibe, which could fit into Raimi's bread and butter even more, considering he's done Spider-Man. He's done more of, you know, fun, sarcastic characters, which Nightwing kind of is. He could do it tons of different ways with all the types of films he's done. He can do like a more hardened character drama. He can do something over the top and comic booky. He can do and anything in between. And there is less of a stigma to get it right and less ire from fans. There's never been a major Nightwing um, on the big screen. I mean, Robin and Batman and Robin kind of felt like they were trying to like get him to Nightwing eventually because his Robin suit in Batman and Robin is definitely more Nightwing than Robin. So it kind of makes sense that they were like kind of going towards that a little bit. I think and the thing is it's still Batman connected. So it's like, okay, I can't do a Batman. That's kind of really like what I was saying before is like James Gunn's like, okay, I can't give you Batman, but like, what about we're trying to do like a more down the line Bat family with Damian Wayne. If Damian Wayne is still on the table, they're like, okay, what if you do Nightwing? And he's like, okay, I can do that. But the thing is, the problem with that is there has been no announcements in regards to a Nightwing movie. There are no plans to bring in Nightwing into the DCU for now. So we're not sure. And even then, the whole Damian Wayne thing, as I just said, we aren't sure what the continuity is for Brave and the Bold right now. We don't know if it is 100% going to be Damian Wayne Robin. Maybe they are going to be doing a non-veteran Batman with more like older than what our Pats technically is right now, but less so than what we initially thought. Like maybe Dick Grayson is Robin right now. Maybe it's Jason Todd. Maybe it's Tim Drake. We don't know. So we don't know what the continuity is right now. And I think they kind of threw out the Damian Wayne as Robin thing, which better for worse. We'll see if that works. You know, um, I think and then the final thing, they could be just saving him for a Teen Titans movie, like because I mean the Teen Titans movie is on the back burner for now. It's not like the thing that's like on the top of the list. Um, so I was like, okay, I'll add that to a con because it's like it's not on top of the list, but like Teen Titans, technically, they still do have a script, and it's technically it was announced at some point, so I can imagine that
Well, I thought that she was
they would
writing it, but then Ana Aguera had to switch over to working on Wonder Woman. That was more the priority, right?
yeah, so
So
like it's still kind of sort of in development, not as much as like Wonder Woman and all these other characters, but like yeah, maybe like it's kind of sort of in limbo right now, but
yeah,
and they might save Nightwing for that. They might be like, okay, we'll do a Titans movie and we'll have Dick Grayson there, so we're not going to bother with a Nightwing movie. So,
yeah.
I just think that this would have been very different. Like in terms of, I mean, there's ways to do it. You could have like he just left the Batman side and like have him deal with his past, maybe like Tony Zuko's the villain. Or you could have like maybe have Deathstroke be the villain that could lead into a Teen Titans movie, or like have it be a post Teen Titans movie and then have like Deathstroke be more like 1v1 against Nightwing. You could do one of the characters that's been made for Nightwing in Bloodhaven. You could do a couple different things, and you can have like other like Teen Titans characters, like you could have like fucking like Cyborg show up or something. I don't know, but like you could do a bunch of different things with Nightwing as a character, like getting over, like kind of becoming his own hero, like trying to like not be bad. I know Croyobo 17 did a really good pitch for it. That was a really good idea. Whatever they decide to do, you could do a more of a veteran Nightwing where he's like been away from Batman for a while, and now he's like, oh, something's coming back to bite him in the ass. And I don't know. Just you could do a lot of things with Nightwing
I
that
mean,
could
you
make it
could you can
interesting.
also bring in original villains, or I would imagine you can also potentially. bring in some Batman Beyond villains, depending on how futuristic they may or may not be. Because like I don't think we're gonna get Batman Beyond anytime soon. Yeah, there's a lot of I would just go back to the comics and pull from stories that are there. As far as Sam Raimi doing a Nightwing movie, that would be a project where there's a lot of room to grow because that's not a character like you said, John, that's currently on the immediate horizon of the DCU. But I'm sure James Gunn is aware of the character's existence and would love to see a version of Nightwing, that isn't just one that's out there telling us to. Yeah. Um, we need a version of Nightwing that you can take seriously for a movie that they can carry on their own. So plus, hey, you know what? People have kept wanting to see. I mean, recently with the Heated Rivalry show blowing up, there's one of the actors in there. I forget the name. He is somebody that social media like was going crazy about fan casting him as Nightwing. So I mean, there's actors out there. Clearly, you can lean into the what is it the sex symbol factor of Nightwing a little bit more if you wanted to. I mean,
His
Sam Raimi
butt.
could, yeah, his ass. There he
But
goes. uh, yeah, Teen Titans reference. I mean, another. Nobody wants to see another wheelchair fight, I'm sure. Uh, you know what? Okay, we're gonna save that enterprising, but keep your suggestions coming in. We're gonna bring your picks in later. Just because this character, isn't really well. Again, like you said, we don't know which other DC Bat Family characters we're gonna see in the Batman movie that they're working on.
mhm,
It's hard to tell where the Nightwing fits into the picture. Just because of that
right.
alone, I would say the likelihood of
That's
this
why I
is
said like
low.
we aren't sure what the
Yeah.
continuity is right now in
Yeah.
terms of the
So where
Bat
would you put
family.
it in a likelihood meter? Because it feels like early to bring in Nightwing if you don't have a Batman movie out yet.
Right. I would say 3 as of right now. I think it's like gearing up for it, but like not incredibly likely. So
Yeah.
I think like 3.
That's fair. That's fair. I think it'd be a good fit. It's not a perfect fit for Sam Raimi's sensibilities as a director. We've already, like you said, the Batman and Robin. I mean, it was basically the Nightwing suit, except it was like with the red instead of the blue.
Technically, it was the
Uh,
new 52 Nightwing suit because the
uh,
Nightwing suit in the new
right.
52 was red.
Was red. Yeah. Well, but it's still like you said, they were leaning more Nightwing, except calling him Robin. I certainly don't want it to. Well, I wouldn't mind the chicks dig the car. I don't want it to be like the
Why is it
whiny
Batman and
version of
Robin? Why
Robin.
can't it be
Yeah.
Robin and Batman?
Yeah, I don't want to see that. So,
So
by the way, hello Sergio Enterprising. We got Filmology in the chat. All you guys and gals watching, thank you for
now,
joining in.
here's the
So,
thing, Enterprising. Speaking of giving him redemption for Dr. Fate with Dr. Fate, boom, Dr. Fate. I skipped over, but that's okay. I'll go back to the other one. So, Dr. Fate, as I said in the pros, give him another chance with a sorcerer. Where he is not impeded by bullshit. Because as we know, the best things about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was when Sam Raimi was being Sam Raimi. And the worst parts about that movie is when it was impeded by Marvel's bullshit with the Illuminati and all that crap, and Miss America being a plot device and all that shit. So
America Chavez, you mean? Yeah, but I see.
well, her superhero name is Miss America.
Miss America. Yeah.
But
I don't think they ever called her that in the movie though. But yeah.
But
Hey, Al Patton.
I think he has proven himself with the best parts of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And with that, I think it can work, and he can work well with bigger budgets if necessary. And so with all of that, I think seeing him do Dr. Fate would be kind of funny.
Yeah, figure drawing.
But at the same time, I think it would work. Even though the cons are there are no plans to bring in Dr. Fate into the DCU for now. The character was used too recently. It was used in Black Adam, so it's unlikely. It's like, confusion, continuity. So, and the thing is, after, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, he might not be interested in doing big budget stuff. I mean, look at Send Help. that is a very small budgeted movie with very much smaller actors, not huge A-list stars. I mean, it has Rachel McAdams, but like she's not like a huge A-list star.
I mean, I see that, but also like if he's gonna do superhero movies, then those are big budget movies, right? And he wants
Well, I
to do
mean,
that.
well,
So
not Clayface. Clayface is going to be a smaller budget movie.
yeah,
But I
well, but
think,
it's not the one he's directing. Okay, touche.
but I think like he doesn't like he's just like I'm good. I'm better with smaller budgets. So Doctor Fate, there's a lot of going against it. I think Doctor Fate would be good, but I'll put it in like kind of, sort of, maybe. Like I think it's kind of likely, and I think it would be like kind of cheekily funny of like because he did Doctor Strange. So
Dr. Fate.
do the DC original first, and then
Original first, yeah.
I think that.
Although that is debate. I mean, remember when we talked about that? I think that blew up on TikTok. We put a short up on TikTok, and people were like, "Oh my god, chicken before the egg." I'm like, it's not that it's not that complicated.
What?
We had a
Dr.
TikTok.
Fate came out before Doctor Strange. Like that's
it was a topic on the show, and we put it on our TikTok account. This is like a few years ago, and it blew up into it. Like there's a whole debate in the comments. If you follow Securus on TikTok, you can go find that. It went viral, like a conversation around it. But I would love to see Dr. Fate in the new DCU. I mean, they nailed the look in Black Adam. I would even love to see Pierce Brosnan back as Dr. Fate. By the way, I think that conversation preceded your time on the show.
Do that week after next, because we already posted the tier list. So I did consider putting that on there, but
you know what? Just because you said you'd be interested in it, we will definitely make it an option. So yeah, Sam Raimi movies will definitely be an option on the next tier list Tuesday poll. So we'll keep that in mind. But yeah, Dr. Fate. We haven't really seen magic in the new DCU. Although the DCEU, we saw magic pretty early on, I feel like, relative to what we're seeing now. Unless I'm missing something. Was there magic in Creature Commandos? I don't think there was it?
Yeah, Cersei.
Okay, well, I guess we have then. All right, maybe more of the live action sense, because Creature Commandos is like a show that you gotta imagine a fraction of the people that saw Superman saw. So we don't really know on a mainstream level what how magic exists in the DCU. But Doctor Fate would be it would be a little tricky, because for me, if I was Peter Safran, I'd be looking at this as an idea, and I'm thinking, if Sam Raimi wants to do a Doctor Fate movie and he's got a really good idea, we'll go for it. We'll take the risk. Right. But maybe we give it a budget of about 100 million, less than 100 million, maybe like 80 million, something like that. Because you got to make sure that this movie can make money. And Sam Raimi himself is a draw.
We already talked about it. You're too late.
I'm just some geeky guy. But otherwise, I think they need to wait to do a Dr. Fate movie, because the character is definitely the character is definitely not as well known as like the Justice League team members, right? Your traditional 7. So unless it is a Sam Raimi, I don't think we're getting Dr. Fate for a while. And maybe they do bring in a Justice Society that has a Dr. Fate. There was speculation about that early on, but clearly the Justice Gang is like their kind of riff on that proto team. But yeah, maybe when we explore like the history of metahumans on Earth a bit more, go back in time, because they've existed for like 3 centuries in the DCU. That was at the beginning of Superman. So no, it was 3,000 years, I think they said. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure Dr. Fate maybe exists, because like they kind of retroactively that they retconned the DCEU canon to include Dr. Fate and Justice Society in that world. So maybe maybe James Gunn already has plans for the Justice Society. It's just something from the ground up. We just have to wait for it, because I don't think we're gonna get him in like chapter 1 Gods and Monsters. So yeah,
but I did skip one because figure drawing had too much.
By the way, did you give the likelihood meter on this?
I did. I gave it a 4.
Okay. All right.
So we're going back ones. Apologies, but again, too good. When you have a good segue, you gotta use it. So
by the way, John, just an inside note: these slides are not numbered. Nobody knows you skipped one.
I know. Well, I hit the arrow, so you probably saw it for the.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I didn't hit I didn't hit the right thing. I hit the arrow. So
right.
Anyway, we're going back one. That's okay. But the next one I have is Dead Man. So with Deadman, there seems to be some, unlike Dr. Fate and Nightwing, there seems to be some interest. I kind of wanted to do like things that were happening and then every other one with things are not happening. So like boop, boop, boop. It's okay. It's fine. But an animated TV series is allegedly planned. So they are interested in bringing the character to life. So there is, unlike Dr. Fate and Nightwing, there's something there in regards to, there's interest here, maybe.
Maybe it's like the mystery project that they greenlit already that James Gunn
Maybe.
will keep referencing. So
Boston Brand is a character that is right up Raimi's alley. A very like darkly humorous character. Because Boston Brand can do like a lot of horror stuff, obviously, but he also has like a very wicked and dark sense of humor, and I think he would be really good for that. So this is definitely more likely, and it can bring in weirder aspects that Raimi has explored in the Evil Dead films, because those are very weird, surreal films. Well, at least the first two, that is. So you could bring in those like surreal elements that were promised within Multiverse of Madness, but were never really done all that much. So like, because I mean, you do have like some surrealness in like the whole musical note fight sequence. That was fucking great. That was like peak Sam Raimi right there. So like, do stuff like that, but in this, and like go really like cuckoo for this. And if anybody who doesn't know who Deadman is essentially kind of like it's kind of like Ghost Rider in a way, but like obviously different origins. But like they are both like stunt guys, like kind of Evel Knievel types. And during one of his like stunt, I think he was originally a trapeze artist, but I think in the newer continuities they made him like a stunt guy. But yeah, so he eventually is killed during a stunt, and he finds out, and he finds out that he was killed because he was supposed to go to the afterlife, but he had unfinished business, so he remained a ghost. So Boston Brand now has to find his killer, and then eventually decides to stay on Earth to fight crime as Deadman. So very interesting character. You could do an origin, you could not. You could bring in Justice League Dark aspects because he was on Justice League Dark. I know they've tried to do that fucking movie for years, and it's never
J.J.
worked
Abrams
out.
was working on it at one point.
Yeah, gross. But I know Doug Liman and Guillermo del Toro were also working on it as well. I don't think Deadman was a part of those, but I think this would be really good. The thing is, a live action movie was not announced, and the animated show is only based on rumor. So those are the biggest cons. Is that this is based on a project that's kind of not really official and kind of never confirmed or greenlit by James Gunn. It was just,
I mean, James Gunn did
mill by
post about
studios.
like he put up like a photo of Deadman, remember, and everybody was like in theory mode, like this is like a year or so ago. I think if this was something that like if they were doing a Deadman movie like 10-15 years ago, I would have totally cast Mark Calloway as the lead, because there would be
I don't know
like
who
this
that
really
is.
meta. That's the Undertaker in WWE. He's also known as the
no,
Deadman.
okay. I'm sorry. I don't
He
know
was a
that.
freak. I mean, who was a freak athlete in his peak of his prime? I'm like, he could have played this perfectly. If this was in the '90s Attitude
Maybe you could
era,
have
I'm
Dave
like,
Bautista. Boom. There we go. He's thinner now, so he can make it work.
Yeah,
Have him
but
be in a good movie for once instead of a Razzie nominated one.
yeah, like his agent got to get him some better work. But I would love to see Deadman, and I think Batista could be a great fit for it. But then again, we're talking about Sam Raimi here. Like you said, I think this is another character that would be a perfect fit for the sensibilities of Sam Raimi as a director. So this would be a great option, and it doesn't rule it out if they're doing an animated show, because you can always
Right.
then
No, I know.
transition
I'm
them
just
to a
saying that the
movie.
animated
So yeah,
show was technically never even confirmed.
yeah.
So that's why I
Justin Geeky guys picking up what I'm putting down. But yeah, no, I agree with
but
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was never confirmed. So, but it's more confirmed than some of the other things on this list. So I'll give it a 6. It's not like top tier, but it's more than likely that they bring Deadman into this than not.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike Dr. Fate and Nightwing, which are not even close to being confirmed. So, Deadman number 6. So that's what I envision for that. And then we get to my final pick, which is Swamp Thing. Another case of a guy who seemingly doesn't really give a fuck about the golden key that he's been handed and is fucking off and
You're
doing
talking
other
about James
bullshit.
Mangold.
Yes, I'm talking about James Mangold. It's just like, oh, we're handed the keys to the kingdom and we're not taking it seriously. Muschietti and Mangold can go fuck themselves. So this is an actual film that is planned for unlike, Dead Man, which is speculative, Dr. Fate and Nightwing, which aren't even like ideas. Swamp Thing was confirmed in the initial announcement along with Brave and the Bold. So this film is actually planned for the DCU. And it could bring out his horror roots the most. Obviously, Swamp Thing is a horror character. The show was brilliant, but due to fucking tax bullshit reasons, it never got a second season. And with that, it would have more of an appropriate smaller budget, because the fact that they did so much with so little on the show is just crazy to me. Like, that is just like literally just take that suit and like copy paste it onto the big budget movie version, and it'll look just as good, because holy fuck, that suit that they put on Derek Mears was just fucking amazing. But the thing is, you could do a smaller budget with this. You could do like what they were kind of doing, like an investigative kind of thing, and like Alec Holland gets caught in the middle and he gets killed and then he turns into Swamp Thing. So, or like, well, kind of, I mean, I know that it's more complicated than that, because he's kind of sort of Swamp Thing, because technically Swamp Thing is an avatar of the Green that took the memories from Alec Holland's like corpse and like all that shit. I know like Alan Moore did stuff with him and all that. I know it's different, but like calm down. um you know I think I think this would be great, but the problem is James Mangold is still attached to both write and direct. The thing is with Sam Raimi, he doesn't really write his own stuff. He usually gets someone else to do it. He usually just directs. Once in a while, I think the last thing he wrote was like he co-wrote Oz Great and Powerful with his brother Ivan, but even then that was like kind of pushing it, and I think maybe wrote the story at best. Um, but yeah, um, with that, and the thing is, as I said, you have to worry about a writer, since Raimi does not write his own films mostly, and he's never really had like admiration for Swamp. He's never mentioned Swamp Thing, right? Like Batman, he's mentioned. He loves Batman. He's read Batman comics. He said he wanted to make a Batman movie since the '80s. So Batman, we know he loves, and he hasn't really said a lot about Swamp Thing. So I don't know if he would be against this. I don't know if he even cares about Swamp Thing. So that's the only thing that's kind of iffy. But James Mangold is still attached to write and direct, and if James Mangold leaves, then you also have to worry about another writer, and I don't know if Sam Raimi would want to write this, so you do have to worry about another thing, and they might want to just get another writer or director, whoever that may be, rather than Sam Raimi, who purely directs stuff. So, there's a lot going against it, but I still think there's enough for this to happen that I could probably give it more of like maybe a 6, maybe a 7. I know that's pretty high considering James Mangold is still attached, but like James Mangold has not said a literal fucking thing about that. At least Andy Muschietti
Well,
has
it's been
talked
about a
about Batman.
year. No, but he
like,
did talk about it, like when he was on the red carpet for.
I think he was on the red carpet
Complete
for
Unknown.
Ford versus Ferrari or
No,
Complete Unknown.
it was
That's what it was.
Complete Unknown.
Complete
Yeah,
Unknown.
last year.
And he's like, Sarah kind of maybe, I don't know, and then like kind of fucked off, and it's just all right.
It was, yeah.
Again, golden key to the kingdom, and you treat it like it's like, what are you doing, bro? So I'm gonna give it a nicer rating.
I just need somebody who can live up to the legacy of Adrian Barbeau from the 80s.
I mean, Wes Craven's a goat, and Sam Raimi is right along with him, so like it works. Yeah. I mean, you had another like horror auteur doing the original Swamp Thing movie, even though that suit was, but it was the early 80s. They tried.
Yeah. Well, let's keep on rolling. These are already 4 great picks. We got one more to go, and then we got honorable mentions. And
we did 5. We already did.
We did 5. Oh yeah, there we go. 5 great picks. I mean, look, Swamp Thing and Brave and the Bold are 2 of the leftover films from the OG announcements that.
Yes. So we have Brave and the Bold. Yet. This was the original, because like we've talked endlessly. Like Sam Raimi wants to do it. Everyone wants him to do it. It's just James Gunn and Andy Muschietti. Andy Muschietti's still there. James Gunn is like, I don't know, but here we are. Um, but um, but Brave and the Bold was the first choice. Then we had Nightwing, then Deadman. Oops, out of order. That's okay. Then Doctor Fate, then Swamp Thing, and now we shall get into the honorable
Honorable
mentions.
mentions, yeah.
And there's already a couple that you guys have mentioned already. And the Authority. Hey, remember this thing?
That was
The
the other one that they
Authority,
announced, then didn't happen,
and
or
then it
hasn't
didn't happen because
happened.
they covered the same themes in Superman. Hey, but
Yeah.
it's still kind of in limbo. They're like not sure if they want to do a movie or a show of it. But hey, if they do a movie, because I think like 80s excess, I think Sam Raimi could do that very well, because that's kind of the vibe I get from the Authority, where it's like very much like over the top 80s vibes. And I think he could do
Hmm.
that well. I think he could do that really, really well. And it could be a very different vibe, but he could make it work. And then somebody mentioned Doom Patrol. I thought Doom Patrol was a good choice. Maybe not the best choice, because Sam Raimi doesn't really do ensemble casts, all that like an ensemble team. I haven't really seen a lot from him, but I think he could
Oh,
still
we'll
make
miss
it
you too.
work. And Doom Patrol, even if you don't go with the Grant Morrison vibe that the show did, and it's more clean cut, like, so honestly I would love to see a more Silver Age version where it's more like kind of like original X-Men vibes. So I could see him doing that. But then finally Martian Manhunter. That one was a weird one, but I wanted to add this one because it could blend his more dramatic experience that he's done with his comic book experience, because you could do a lot of like drama filled things
Oh,
with
you can make a
Martian
whole
Manhunter.
epic, like
Um,
$150 million major blockbuster, John Carter-esque.
You could do
Yeah,
that. You could do
come
something
on.
very, very big, or you could do a very small personal character drama with Martian Manhunter, like him living on Earth, like being a cop, and like dealing with like being an outsider, but also taking the form of black man and dealing with those human aspects, and like kind of dealing with the a bit of the surreal, but at the same time having like those deeper dramatic, like personal like beats that Martian Manhunter can have as a very like deep character. And the thing is, I would love to see Sam Raimi tackle more dramatic stuff, because a lot of people seem to forget he was like a pretty dramatic director in
He was,
between the
yeah.
Evil Dead movies and Spider-Man movies. And he, like, For the Love of the Game, A Simple Plan, The Gift, like he did a lot of more dramatic stuff. And not to say they were like devoid of humor or anything like that, but it's just like sometimes people forget Sam Raimi can do dramas very, very well. Um, so I think Martian Manhunter would be a good fit for him, because I think like it has that comic booky vibe, but at the same time it could do heightened more drama stuff if he wants to obviously do that. So yeah, those are my honorable mentions. Not the best ones. I
Yeah.
think the other five are better, but I think they were good for him.
Yeah, look, I think for me, the Authority, I want to see the Authority. Like, you could recontextualize, like, why they exist in the DCU. I would just love to see how they put that together, because the potential for this set of characters is so amazing. Like, I want to see that, be brought to life under James Gunn's watch, because I wouldn't trust many other filmmakers to do it. Now, when I say James Gunn's watch, whether he's a director or a producer, in this case, you would have Sam Raimi direct. Um, and then Doom Patrol was one of the best things they ever did on HBO Max or DC Universe Now, whatever. It started on that little DC Universe app that then died, but then it was ultimately kind of like it wasn't really in line with the continuity of the DCEU. It was sort of like a pocket universe attached to the DCEU in a way. But Doom Patrol, God, when that show came to an end, I was like, really? Like, they could have kept on running it. And Jeremy Carver, like you mentioned, isn't he still involved with James Gunn's team?
Yeah, he was
So,
set to do Waller, but I don't know where.
yeah,
Who knows where that is right now?
I've another one of those. But yeah, and then the Martian Man, you know how I feel about Martian Manhunter. I'd already said it. Like, this could be, whether you do it as an intimate, like in a character study. I think you could do one where you do this character study that it runs in parallel with the epic events of Martian Manhunter's past, on Mars, and you kind of
Hmm.
like jump around between the two, almost like in this non-chronological way, maybe where like the two stories sort of interweave together, and then maybe like towards the end, like the themes or something with the how the two timelines, like one from the past and the present day connect. And I would love to see that because Martian Manhunter, another character that I thought was just underutilized, almost to the point of like not being in there unless you count the Zack Snyder version of Justice League as canon to the ultimate DCEU. I would love to see any of these. I mean, some of these I would prefer even over the ones that we went over before because I mean, Doom Patrol I think is the kind of team that you could take from that Guardians of the Galaxy level of obscurity to being like almost an A tier team. The Authority could be absolutely huge. Like, and Sam Raimi would be the kind, because if you're gonna bring the Authority to life on the big screen in a movie like the way they intended to originally, that will be the kind of movie that you would need to invest a big amount of money into. The expectations would be high because, and then you need to walk the line between, oh yeah, is it Apollo and Midnighter? They can't come across as Superman, Batman ripoffs. Like you need to give them enough of their own. You need to be able to like distinguish them enough, but at the same time show that they're allegorically attached to those other two more well-known characters. So yeah, between all of that and then yeah, I mean Martian Manhunter I already mentioned. So any of these would be right up Sam Raimi's alley, especially because he's a kind of, by the way, hello Hunter Agi. Sam Raimi could kind of like take something and run with it. He can be a little more independent. He's been around the block many a times. He's one of the most successful comic book directors of all time. So yeah, James Gunn and Peter Safran, I'm sure would be like whatever project we put on your hands is in safe hands. So yeah, I would love to see any of these, despite the fact that these are just honorable mentions. I think these are some of my favorite
Yeah.
options. So yeah.
I just like the only reason I put like Authority and Doom Patrol is because like the Authority is pretty much like half a step away from being
Mm-hmm.
dead. Doom Patrol they don't have plans for, and both of them are ensembles, which Sam Raimi hasn't really done a lot of before.
Mm-hmm.
And Martian Manhunter that's not on the horizon anytime soon. So yeah,
I mean,
but I
who
think
knows?
all of them
Maybe it
would be
is,
amazing.
but we just don't know about it. So that's how I'd like to think. Um, but no, great picks. You know what? We also have your picks, guys and gals, and everybody watching in the live chat. You've been sending us your picks as we have been talking about ours. So, John, why don't you walk us through? We could do this in quick hit style, so that way we can get through everybody. So you guys kept on sending so many ideas. Goes to show you how
Yes.
highly we all think of Sam Raimi as a filmmaker.
But
Let's
I mean,
see.
I could have made like this like a fucking 20 like story list. Like I could have, and I
Yep.
could have come up with the good reasons for all of them. Honestly, we might have to do a part two of this because there would be so many great ones. Anyway,
We
so
could.
uh for this, Caleb's first was Jonah Hex as a cool Elseworlds. I mean, he'd need some redemption after the god awful Josh Brolin movie. Josh Brolin got redemption in terms of Marvel, but I think the character needs some redemption. I think Sam Raimi being, he's directed Quick and the Dead, he's has some Western experience, so that would be good. And then Caleb mentioned a bunch that we already talked about: Batman, Swamp Thing, and Doctor Fate that we've talked about, and then Constantine could be good whether it's DCU attached or not. But consider the only reason I didn't put Constantine on the list is because Francis Lawrence is working on the sequel to the Keanu movie, so I didn't
Yeah.
mention that. While these either they've planned like Batman and Swamp Thing or stuff that they didn't plan at all. But I think Animal Man would be good. I think he has a good sense of humor for that. Personally, I would prefer Edgar Wright, but I think Animal Man would be great for him as well. The Question, if you want kind of like that deeper character study kind of thing, like what I was thinking for Martian Manhunter, you could do with The Question. And then Spectre is kind of like the Spectre is kind of like Doctor Fate, where it's like this very otherworldly, out there, big like
Sci-fi
character in terms of the
vibes. Yeah.
universe that I think Sam
Hmm.
Raimi could do well. And it could also like go against some of his conventions as well.
Yep.
Enterprising thought the same. The Question was another one. They also said Etrigan the Demon. That could be really fucking cool. I could definitely do an Etrigan movie. I can honestly, with how the Flash and Spider Man are similar, I could see
Yeah,
him doing the
check out our
Flash, like a
editorial.
Wally West Flash
Yeah.
movie. That would be pretty awesome.
I mean, a couple of good shout outs. We did that comparison between The Flash and Spider Man No Way Home. That's on the channel right now. You can watch that video. But then also, we did do an Edgar Wright Fancast Friday, so where we picked one of the characters that you guys were suggesting for Sam Raimi.
Right.
So, yeah.
And then Enterprising also said he could take over Sergeant Rock. Luca Guadagnino left that as
It's
along
true.
with the
It's
writer
directorless.
who
Yeah.
wrote
Right up. That would be
Challengers
right
and
up his
Queer.
alley. Yeah.
So I think Sergeant Rock, I don't think he's ever done like a war movie, so I think that could be really cool and unique if he like keeps directing after Send Help. He could have done Clayface. I could have definitely seen him do Clayface, but I think they wanted a smaller director for that. And James Watkins obviously doesn't have the brow of Sam Raimi, so they're like, okay, let's get this guy who's proven himself in the past with horror and give him this. So yeah, and then Doom Patrol, we already mentioned that. I did actually consider putting this on the list, but I decided to go with another character instead. I did consider putting Captain Marvel on the list because I do think Captain Marvel
Too
could
early
be
to
really
reboot
good.
Shazam.
No, real OGs call him Captain Marvel because he's the original Captain Marvel, and Carol Danvers can suck my nuts. Anyway,
Sure.
but but I think he could definitely do Captain Marvel. I think that would be really fucking awesome again, because like look at the David F. Sandberg movie that kind of had like that was a horror filmmaker that became a superhero filmmaker, and
you could
he
see the
blended
elements
those
of
ideas
horror
very well.
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, and Mark Strong's villain in the first one, and then like those other beastly creatures. It just, yeah, all that stuff you could tell like he was a good fit for that iteration.
Yes. This was another one I considered was Green Arrow. I think you could do Green Arrow very well. This was another one I considered to put on the list, but I thought it was like, oh, billionaire playboy character, kind of similar to Batman, so I wanted to leave him off the list, but I'm glad you mentioned him because he would be great. Justice League Dark, I think that could definitely be pretty awesome.
Yeah, great shout, Sergio. Yeah.
But there's another one. Zatanna could be really good. Smaller.
And we know there's supposedly something Zatanna related in the works.
Yes.
And we've been hearing about it like off and on for a couple of years now. So yeah.
But Enterprising also mentioned Animal Man, and Caleb agreed with Zatanna. I don't know if they would think. I don't know if you can make a Red Tornado movie work. Sam Raimi could probably make it work, but it definitely maybe a little bit too out there. Who would probably get like a show or like be a supporting character? I can't imagine like Red Tornado getting his own like show, feature, miniseries or whatever. So, Adam could be okay. I don't know. I can't really see Sam Raimi doing Adam, but like, they could make it work. Detective Chimp. Yeah. Fuck yes. Give me Sam Raimi directed Detective Chimp. I want to get Detective Chimp and DC Marvel. I know you're doing the DC Marvel crossovers right now. I'm just saying, do Detective Chimp and Howard the Duck. Do it.
I would watch that.
But just for the comic book, because they're doing like the Batman, Deadpool, and Daredevil, Green Arrow, that kind of thing.
Yep. Superman, Spider-Man.
Then Caleb also mentioned Huntress, Vixen, Ragman. I know Huntress was another one that was considered. Honestly, he could do that really well. So, Hosea mentioned Justice League Dark, Ragman, somebody, Etrigan the Demon. Metal Men. I can't see it.
Weren't there rumors about Metal Men being a thing? Like, or was that meant to be Creature Commandos related? I forget.
Well, they talked about this. Technically canon in Creature Commandos.
Yeah.
But because their creator was in Creature Commandos. They were in the GI Robot episode.
Because remind me, am I connecting the wrong dots? But wasn't there speculation that the Metal Men might be a part of the Sergeant Rock movie if this connected to the continuity of the DCU?
I don't think so. I don't remember reading that.
Yeah. But, still, could be. Yeah, could be something Sam Raimi could take on.
Maybe.
Maybe not so much driven by him.
That one I don't see as much, but Green Arrow was mentioned. Black Mask, I mean, if Clayface is successful, they can do another Batman villain movie. Right, I can't imagine Sam Raimi would do it, or like they would continue with this even if Clayface is successful, but maybe. Blue Devil, interesting. I don't know if you could really work with his own feature. Maybe if he was a supporting character. Um, a Lobo movie. I know Dan, you already mentioned that during the DCU Daily. I could
I
see
think
that
that would
as
be
well.
perfect. That would be amazing. You already
Um,
got an actor in the role. We know we're gonna see more of him. Bring in Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi and Jason Momoa would have a wonderful time making that movie, and you don't even need to spend like 150 million doing that. So yeah,
but
lots of star power.
Hawkman could be awesome, especially if they make it like an epic. I think he could do that really well. Section 8. I know everyone wants a Section 8 movie. Ragman. Yes, we hear you, Caleb. Fucking Ragman. Goddamn.
We got it.
Um, Catwoman. I mean, he did almost bring Felicia Hardy into his Spider-Man movies, not as Black
Yeah,
Cat
that's
though,
true.
ironically. It was gonna be
Yeah.
Vultress. Fire and Ice
Wait, well,
could
wasn't
work.
she in the first Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man film?
Second
Second
one.
one?
Felicity Jones
Second
played
one.
her. She was Felicia
Jones,
Hardy, and
yeah.
then they were gonna
Yeah.
do something with her, and then it never happened.
I mean, they also cut out
Um,
a bunch of scenes that kind of like would have made the character more canon, like her comic book
yes.
alter ego.
A Riddler movie,
Yeah.
maybe it could work. And then Livewire, I can't really see that working, but like, if maybe they do a Superman movie with Livewire as the villain, maybe you can make that work. I don't know. Yeah, but Sam Raimi Lobo would be pretty
Would be
awesome.
would be epic.
I
Epic.
am gonna be seeing Send Help. That I'm gonna be seeing that opening goddamn day, along with
I'm gonna
Iron
wait for your
Lung.
review because yeah,
So
I'm not that convinced of it yet.
but it looks pretty awesome to me. It looks like classic Sam Raimi, so
Is he
I'm stoked
directing
for
it or
that.
is he just producing it? Because I
No,
couldn't tell from the
he's
mark.
coming back
He
to
is.
directing. He's
Okay.
been I mean,
Okay.
last thing he directed was Doctor Strange, and he's like, you know
Right.
what? That movie was so bad, I'm gonna fucking make my own movie now because I need to prove myself again. A Dex Star movie? Yeah, okay.
Dude, Jason Momoa is basically a live action Tasmanian devil anyway. We don't need to make a movie out of that. But I mean, Lobo. So those are some great picks, everybody. Thank you for sharing that in the live chat. If you guys have been watching us after we are doing this live, you can drop your picks in the comments down below, and then we'll bring those in to our Friday Q&A sessions on DCU Daily. Of course, somebody suggested Mr. Freeze. I think Stacy was saying. Again, look, I
Nice
would
to
love to
see you,
see
Batman.
I would love to see like a sub universe within the DCU that's all about just like making Batman villain movies and like actually getting them right, unlike like what Marvel tried to do. Sorry, Sony Marvel tried to do with the Spider-Man villains. I'm sure they could pull it off, but I mean, James Gunn doesn't like want to do that. Doesn't want to play that quantity game. He wants to make sure they're only putting out so many things that people can keep up with. And I feel like just because if they're gonna do 2, 3 movies max a year, there's only so much room for certain B, C list characters that we either will have to wait for a long time. Because again, like the MCU has always been playing the long game. Like now they're talking about like generational Avengers, like my father was an Avenger and kind of thing. Um, I'm sure the DCU, if it lasts, as long as the MCU has, if not longer, then down the road in like future chapters, we might get some of these characters we don't get, early on. By the way, Hellboy MTG, good pick, but it's not a DC character
That's
really.
Dark Horse, not DC,
So,
but I like the way you're
um,
thinking.
yes,
Eclipso, I don't know if that maybe you have him as a villain for a Justice League Dark movie, but if he does a Batman movie, could have Killer
Killer
Croc as a
Croc.
villain.
Yeah, he
Because
just
nobody
wants
fucking
to
cares about
watch
Saint
BET.
Walker, Caleb. I'm not saying I wouldn't want to see. I'm just saying nobody knows who Saint Walker is, let alone cares about Saint Walker. I'd like to see it. I think
Yeah.
that would be awesome, but I don't think anybody wants to see that.
By the way, I don't know if this is what this is in reference to because I'm not really sure about this, but like Fables as an Elseworlds movie, do you think James Gunn would
Fables
greenlight that with
is
Sam
it's an
Raimi?
indie thing. It's not connected to.
Yeah,
Actually, it is it Vertigo. I don't remember. I
but isn't
started
Vertigo
reading.
like under DC now technically?
Yeah,
Like it's
but I
yeah, so
don't
that would work.
know. I don't remember. Shit.
You can be a fan in spite, Caleb. That's okay. That's normal. Give him a Guy Gardner lantern. You know what? I don't think Guy Gardner will be around long enough in the DCU to get his own movie.
He's
But
not gonna die. Fuck off. Jesus.
Fables is great source material, says Figure Drawing. All right. Well, look, before we finish up the show, because it's been an amazing. I mean, look, again, we could do another whole episode of this. Maybe
As we've
we
said,
should
we
do
could
something like
probably
that. Yeah.
do like 10 of these because it
Yeah.
would be truly fantastic. Like, because
Yeah.
again, we've all loved Sam Raimi here. We all love,
Ooh, Red Lanterns. Damn. Wow.
yeah, like he could do
Yeah.
so much. He could do so many great
It
things with
just
so many
it
great
just speaks
characters.
to the diversity and talent
Because he's done
and
everything.
pedigree
Like
of
he's done every
Sam Raimi.
genre. So
Yeah.
I mean, sure, he's had some stinkers here and there, but like he's done like so many genres, and like he nails
Yeah.
so many of those aspects. That yeah, dog Walder movie, boom, there we go, perfect.
Well, before we get too carried away, because we do want to look ahead to Tier List Tuesday, the link to
Mhm.
the Tier List Tuesday poll is in the live chat. It's pinned to the live chat. And also, if you're watching after we're live, you can go click the link in the description down below. Of course, if you're on YouTube, you can just go to the YouTube community post section on the channel for Also Curious. And then that's where you can vote for the topic for Tier List Tuesday. With that in mind, John, let's take a quick look at the list of topics in the poll before we end the show, because we did put this poll up right before we went live. And well, we got a few options in there. You made the choices, John, so you tell us what you got on there.
Yeah, so we brought Alfred Pennyworth actors back from last week, and then I was like, because my friend asked me, he's like, "Have you ever done like Doctor Who doctors on Tier List Tuesday?" I'm like, "We haven't." So I'm like, you know what? Let me make that as an offer. I'll do it. That sounds like fun. I know it's a niche sci-fi thing. It has a lead now. It's probably not going to win, but like it's still fun because like I mean, as you could tell, I love me my Doctor Who, but I thought it would be fun. It's unlikely. And then, Paramount, they don't have a lot of franchises, but
I was like, did you just do this to like parody or spite Paramount, like their fan?
a little bit.
Because I mean, they have stuff, but it's not as prolific as like, because like we
As
would
Warner
immediately be able to
Brothers, which is
compare to
why
like
they want
Warner
their grubby
Brothers.
little hands all over it.
Yeah,
So,
it's no, it's fair.
Um,
I mean,
but
they have
then Avengers
Sonic
films,
and
because
a
with
bunch of other
Doomsday
stuff.
coming out, I know it's a long ways
Yeah.
away, but we still have 4
Avengers movies.
Avengers movies to rank, and it would hopefully be a quicker one. But
We did put that up before and it didn't win. So it was, I mean, this was from
yeah,
last
bring it
year.
back. It's
Yeah.
fine.
MTG encouraging the Paramount vote. Currently, they're
want
tied
to laugh
for
at them.
last. So, Alfred Actors is the one that's been on there now for a few weeks as well. Doctor Who Doctors, like that's something that was on like a few months ago, and then it fell off.
No, I think
so.
we were fan casting the next Doctor. I think that's what it was.
Okay, so not like a tier list of like every Doctor, right? Okay.
No, we haven't done that
Yeah.
yet.
I mean, hey, those are four solid options. We can rank all the Alfred actors, like Michael Caine. You got
My cocaine.
Andy Serkis right now. Why am I forgetting right now? The one from the DCEU, Jeremy Irons. Oh God, like I just one of the iconic iterations. All the Doctor Who's. I mean, I know where I'm going to put Matt Smith, and David Tennant. Those are two at the top of the top
tier.
Even Christopher Eccleston for me was also pretty gosh darn good. And Nakudi Gatwa, and I don't know if you consider the special edition ones, like maybe like what am I forgetting? Billy Piper. Like, would Billy Piper count in that tier list? I wonder.
No, because she hasn't had any content. She just showed up for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then Paramount franchises, guys, like we would be talking about, not only Sonic the Hedgehog, but you also have, they do have a few things. You got TMNT, you got Transformers, Top Gun, Mission Impossible, and I'm sure there's more that I'm forgetting right now. Avatar, like The Last Airbender, as a franchise. Of course, Paramount has all the Nickelodeon stuff, so like, SpongeBob and stuff. Comedy Central, I guess, I don't know if that's a franchise really, but yeah, we'll probably just stick to movie franchises, like movie TV franchises. So yeah, and then Avengers movies. We get to vote for the ones before. I mean, we did the Avengers Doomsday teasers as a tier list this past Tuesday. So yeah, the vote is open. The ballot is open. You can go vote for it in the community post section and go find the poll, and then we'll make that the topic of our tier list Tuesday. But John, I think we're done for the night. We're done for the week. I will definitely work on, and then this will depend again on like how the storm is and what the situation here is in the Northeast with regards to like electricity and all that, what else is going on.
Yes.
But if I can, what I'll try to do is do a special weekend live episode, and we'll talk about like the latest in the Paramount, Warner Brothers, Netflix stuff. It's getting a little petty right now, inferior schemes and whatnot. So we'll maybe we'll see you over the weekend, but certainly, John, you and I, we will be back live on Monday with another episode of DCU Daily. And remember our show schedule these last few weeks, January and February. We are live Monday with DCU Daily, and then Tuesday with DCU Daily Tier List Tuesday. Then we usually take Wednesday, Thursdays to rest up a little bit. Then we're back with you on Friday with another episode of DCU Daily, and like tonight with another episode of Fancast Friday. So, as MPG is saying, everyone, please be safe.
Please
if you're
be
in the
safe.
US.
Don't drive. Don't do anything.
Yeah,
it's
if you're in the
gonna
path
be a
of the
hectic
storm.
Just
Yeah.
don't go to get the milk and the bread and the toilet paper. You'll be fine, I swear. But just be careful if you have a generator. Make sure that's running.
It's a good idea.
Do all that stuff. So yeah, just be safe out there.
Yeah.
And have a good old time.
Take care, everybody.
Inside.
Watch the movies. Stay inside. And yeah,
hopefully I can catch up on some
safe.
Pluribus or The Pit.
Ooh. I need to catch up on a few things. There's that
And
new
Stranger
Simu Liu
Things,
show
maybe.
on
I
Peacock.
don't know.
You know what? I might do that, actually. I haven't seen season 5 all the way through. And you know what? We could do a post-credit sequences as a ranking as well. Maybe that will be another one for the next poll alongside Sam Raimi movies. But hey, if you guys are joining in late, be kind and rewind. John, where can the good folks find you online other than the channel here?
Geek Informant. Hopefully I'll be, doing that. Another video soon, maybe. I don't know. I think I have one set for Sundays, just like kind of an update video, but let's see what I have for the future. And then Cool Kids, we are actually doing a review, a belated review, but a review nonetheless, of 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. So go watch that. Usually
we did that review last Friday. You did on the show here.
It's 8. It's gonna be on at 8:30, maybe 9, depending on schedules, but around that time. So late Eastern Standard Time. So
yeah.
And remember, Dog Welder is in fact the king. So.
And with that said, everybody take care, be safe. Hit that like button on the way out if you didn't already. If you're new, hit subscribe. We're doing this Fancast Friday episode every Friday. Hit the notification bell so you know when we are live. And with that, we'll see you next time on another episode of DCU Daily on Monday. And then, of course, we'll see you for the rest of the week next week. Stay safe, everybody. Have a great weekend.
And remember, as always, fuck Jeff Snyder and fuck Tom King. But don't fuck Sam Raimi. Unless he's getting coochie.
Okay.